every single day, as we navigate the complexities of our modern lives. We often find ourselves carrying an invisible, heavy burden within our hearts. It might be a sudden flash of intense anger, triggered by an unfair comment at work, a deep, hollow sadness from feeling disconnected from those around us, or a lingering anxiety about what the future holds. When these painful thoughts and emotions arise, our natural instinct is often to push them away, pretend they do not exist, or harshly judge ourselves for even having them. We tell ourselves that we must remain strong, positive, and unflappable. Yet this very act of burying our true feelings only causes them to fester quietly in the shadows of our minds. What if the key to true mental freedom is not the aggressive elimination of these negative emotions, but rather the gentle acknowledgement of their existence? More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha uncovered a profound truth about the human psyche, offering a timeless wisdom that can halt the accumulation of negative energy in our deepest subconscious and guide us back to a state of enduring peace. To truly understand how this ancient wisdom can transform our lives today, let us journey back in time to a quiet, sun-drenched village in ancient India, where a young weaver named Charaka lived. Charaka was a man of remarkable skill, dedicated to his craft. Yet his inner world was a turbulent sea of resentment and profound sorrow. Whenever he spent weeks meticulously weaving a flawless tapestry, only to have a wealthy merchant ruthlessly demean his work and demand a fraction of its worth, a searing fire of anger would ignite within his chest. Moreover, as he watched less talented craftsmen effortlessly gain wealth and prestige through deceit and flattery, a heavy sense of inadequacy and grief would weigh upon his soul. Charaka despised these dark emotions within himself. He believed that a good man should never harbor such ugly thoughts. Consequently, every time anger or envy reared its head, he would forcefully suppress it, clenching his fists and repeating to himself that he must be patient and pure. Yet, the more he fought to bury his pain, the heavier his heart became, until the sleepless nights and constant emotional exhaustion left him entirely broken, prompting him to seek out a renowned wise master, who lived in a secluded hermitage deep within the surrounding forest. The air in the forest was cool and fragrant with the scent of wild jasmine. And as Charaka approached the humble dwelling, he found the elderly master sitting in serene silence upon a woven mat. Breaking down into tears, Charaka poured his heart out, confessing the immense shame he felt over the persistent anger and sorrow that seemed to defile his mind, and how his desperate efforts to destroy these feelings had only made them stronger. The master listened with absolute presence, his eyes reflecting a deep, non-judgmental compassion that instantly made Charaka feel safe. After a long silence, the master spoke in a voice as calm as a still lake, explaining that by treating his anger and sadness as dangerous enemies, to be conquered or hidden away, Charaka was inadvertently planting poisonous seeds into the fertile soil of his own subconscious mind. The master gently pointed to a small wild lotus blooming nearby, noting how the flower does not fight the muddy water or the pouring rain, but simply allows them to exist as it grows. He told Charaka that whenever a negative emotion arises, He must stop fighting it and instead look directly at it, acknowledging its presence by softly saying to himself, "I see you, anger," or "I see you, sadness," without branding the feeling as good or bad. On his journey back to the village, Charaka felt a sense of skepticism. Yet he was so thoroughly exhausted by his internal warfare that he resolved to put the master's advice into practice. A few days later, a familiar test presented itself. When the same merchant publicly ridiculed his latest work, and Charaka felt the familiar, hot rush of indignation rising from the depths of his stomach. In the past, he would have instantly swallowed the anger, while cursing the man silently. But this time, he took a slow, deep breath and turned his attention inward. He observed the tightness in his chest, and the heat in his face, and mentally whispered, "I am experiencing a powerful wave of anger right now, and it is natural that I feel hurt." To his utter amazement, because he stopped resisting the emotion, and simply allowed it to be there, the fiery rage did not expand. Instead, it peaked gently and then dissolved away like morning mist over a river. Over the following weeks, Charaka applied this gentle mindfulness to every sorrow and anxiety that visited him, treating his wounded feelings with the same tenderness one would show to a crying child. As his inner world transformed into a sanctuary of profound stillness, a remarkable shift began to occur in his external reality as well. The sharp, defensive edge vanished from his demeanor, replaced by a radiant aura of calm authority. The villagers, sensing this newfound strength, began to approach him with immense respect, and even the arrogant merchant, disarmed by Charaka's unshakable composure, finally began to value his artistry and pay him a fair and honorable price. The reason why we in the modern world find ourselves so utterly paralyzed by anger, sadness, and negativity is rooted deeply in the relentless structure of our contemporary society. We live in an era dominated by hyperconnectivity and curated perfection, where social media constantly bombards us with the illusions of other people's flawless lives, unceasing happiness, and rapid success. This creates an intense, invisible pressure to always appear optimistic, productive, and emotionally unassailable, causing us to view our own natural feelings of jealousy, grief, or frustration as personal failures or signs of weakness. When we experience these darker emotional states, we quickly attempt to override them with forced positive thinking, or distract ourselves through endless consumption, completely ignoring the fundamental mechanisms of the mind, as explained by Buddhist philosophy. In the core teachings of Buddhism, the mind is compared to a vast storehouse, a realm equivalent to what modern psychology identifies as the subconscious, where every suppressed thought, unexamined resentment, and ignored sorrow is filed away rather than dissolved. When we refuse to acknowledge our negativity, we do not eliminate it. Instead, we trap that volatile energy within this deep storehouse, where it silently accumulates like toxic silt at the bottom of a clear lake. Over time, this buried negativity begins to leak into our daily existence, manifesting as unexplained chronic irritability, a profound sense of emotional numbness, or sudden, explosive outbursts that seem entirely disproportionate to the situation at hand. Therefore, the ancient wisdom of the Buddha is absolutely indispensable today. because it teaches us that the only way to prevent this dangerous subsurface accumulation is to consciously meet our emotions at the door of awareness, processing them cleanly so they cannot pollute our inner landscape. To adapt this profound spiritual truth to the unique challenges of our modern lives, we must establish a practical, structured framework of mindfulness that we can easily implement amidst our hectic daily routines. The very first step in this transformative process is the cultivation of immediate emotional recognition, which requires us to bridge the gap between experiencing a feeling and becoming aware of it. Most of the time, when anger or sadness strikes, we immediately fuse with the emotion, becoming the anger itself, and reacting blindly to the world around us. To break this automatic, conditioned cycle, we must practice stepping back mentally. The moment we feel our heart rate quicken or our jaw clench, adopting the perspective of an objective observer who is watching a storm from a safe window, we can practice naming the emotion, silently stating to ourselves, anger has arisen in the mind, or sadness is present, which instantly creates a healthy psychological distance and prevents the emotion from hijacking our rational thoughts. The second crucial step involves the radical practice of non-judgmental containment, where we allow the negative emotion to inhabit our internal space, without attempting to change it, fix it, or criticize ourselves for feeling it. We must remind ourselves that emotions are merely temporary, passing weather patterns in the vast sky of our consciousness, and that having a dark thought does not make us a dark person. Instead of analyzing the story behind the pain, or blaming external circumstances, we shift our entire focus to the physical sensations in the body, leaning into the discomfort with a sense of gentle curiosity. By closely observing where the tension resides, whether it is a knot in the stomach, or a heaviness in the throat, and breathing into that space, we allow the emotional energy to run its natural course and dissipate safely without leaving a toxic residue in our subconscious. Furthermore, an incredibly powerful and tangible method to integrate into your evening routine is the practice of raw, unedited emotional journaling before sleep. At the end of a demanding day, open a dedicated notebook and write down every single negative thought, petty resentment, or deep sorrow you experienced, allowing the words to flow onto the page without any filtration, censorship, or attempts to make yourself look virtuous. Once you have emptied these raw emotions out of your system, sit quietly for a moment, look at the pages, and offer yourself a profound validation by thinking, I was deeply hurt and exhausted today, and it is completely okay that I felt this way. This profound act of writing serves as a literal externalization of the emotional energy, extracting it from your psyche, and ensuring that it is fully processed and released, rather than being carried into your dream state and stored in your subconscious mind. As you consistently maintain these practices over time, you will begin to notice a beautiful, liberating shift. Your mind will become lighter, your sleep will deepen, and you will develop an unshakable resilience that allows you to face the unpredictable waves of modern life with an anchored, peaceful heart. Ultimately, we must come to understand that, as long as we are human beings living in this vibrant, chaotic world, we will never be entirely free from the arrival of anger, sadness, or fear. These emotions are not defects in our character, nor are they obstacles to our spiritual growth. They are the natural, authentic expressions of a heart that is alive and interacting with reality. True peace does not look like a life completely devoid of storms, but rather the ability to remain entirely steady and compassionate, right in the midst of the howling wind. When you stop running away from your own darkness, and instead choose to look upon your pain with the kind, welcoming eyes of the Buddha, the ancient cycle of suffering finally comes to an end. By acknowledging your feelings exactly as they are, you extend the highest form of mercy to yourself, cleansing the deep storehouse of your mind, and paving the way for a life of genuine freedom and clarity. May you walk forward from this moment with the courage to embrace your entire heart, and may your inner world always be protected by the radiant, enduring light of gentle awareness.
If this story resonated with you and provided some insights or learning, I'd be delighted if you could press the like button. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, I'll be able to continue sharing various life wisdom and lessons with you. Please share your experiences and thoughts in the comments section as well. Each person's experience becomes valuable learning for other viewers. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end today. I look forward to meeting you all again in the next video.